Family, I hope you're all doing amazing. Today we are going to talk about the Loneliness Awareness Week. Okay, so, and we will be bringing an amazing guest, Dr. Kuljit. And while we wait for her to join us, I am going to introduce myself. So she seems to be like online, so I will send her the request. Women's Health Movement Coaching. Here we go. Here's Dr. Kuljit. Welcome. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Ange. Thanks for having me again.
Yes, thank you for like having the time to shine some light on our Loneliness Awareness Week. And you are a huge advocate for this on this topic. So we truly appreciate for the, what do you call the word that I was looking for the preventative care, right? So thank you and welcome everybody. Thank you so much. So today I was just introducing myself that I have been women's health movement coach for past 15 years and nutrition counselor, and as well as the founder of this platform. And Kuljit, would you kindly please give us your intro, that beautiful bio of, because you have so much to say, right?
Thanks, right. Ange. No worries. So yeah, I've been a GP on the Gold Coast for over 20 years, but currently I'm the National Chair for RACGP Social Prescribing Specific Interest Group. I'm also the National Chair for Aspire's Expert Panel Chair, and that's also known as the Australian Social Prescribing Institute of Research and Education. Board Director for Australasian Society of Lifestyle Medicine, and also our local arts organisation, Everybody Now. And probably of most relevance right now here on the Gold Coast, I'm sitting on the strategy advisory group for the 2032 Olympics and Paralympics, where we're trying to get social prescribing into our Gold Coast city to improve the health and wellbeing of our residents here as well.
Yes, yeah. Incredible. Thank you so much. And, I couldn't have done it so well like you have done, because it's mostly all of them are towards the preventative care, and it is such an important, I think it is becoming more and more important, the social prescribing, to bring awareness on that, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yes. So before we start, I wanted to just a quick disclaimer that this talk is all about to bring awareness and educational purposes. And if anyone is having, the loneliness, feeling that way, right? So please reach out to your healthcare practitioner or, whoever is the professional people to reach out for the support, right? And would you like to add anything, Kuljit, in that?
Yeah, look, I think you're right. This is purely awareness. It's information sharing. And if anyone is suffering from any sort of, loneliness, or just wants to talk about something that's going on in their social situations, definitely reach out to GPs or allied health professionals, other healthcare practitioners. And there's always support on the phone or online as well, as you probably know, different organisations, Beyond Blue, Lifeline, etc. as well. So you're not alone. Always remember that. If there is anything going on, never feel alone. That's the most important thing I'd like to say, just to start off as well. Yeah.
Yes. And sometimes it's as much as we feel so lonely, I'm talking from my own experience. Sometimes when you're going through that cycle, it feels like really lonely and you don't have anybody, but the resources are out there. We just have to reach out, right?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yes.
And you're right, often you are experiencing that loneliness. You feel that, it's something it's introverted, it's subjective. But so many people are suffering from loneliness. It's just not necessarily talked about, openly. And I guess if I may share, this week, Loneliness Awareness Week, we've had the release of the State of Nation report by Ending Loneliness Together. And in Australia, it's noted that 1 in 2 Australians at any given
Wow.
time are socially disconnected. So that's either lonely, socially isolated, and or both. So 1 in 2, 50% of us, you know. So that's pretty huge. And the other statistic that they've shared again this week is 1 in 5 are suffering from both social isolation and loneliness at any given time.
Wow.
So yeah, so
yeah,
it is,
1 in 2.
yeah, it's very,
That
very
is,
significant. Very
wow.
significant. Yeah. And we've got certain age cohorts where it seems to be more prevalent.
Okay.
So you'd probably be surprised. I was actually quite shocked to learn as well from the study of 4,000 people that they've done, that the middle age, so 45 to 54-year-old group, that is probably the worst in terms of being the most socially isolated and the most lonely. So I was actually quite shocked to learn that, but it does make sense because often that is a transition period for so many as well. The other cohort is that youth cohort, so 18 to 24, where we're finding that they're not socially isolated, but they're quite lonely. They're probably the most lonely. And then the other end of the spectrum, the seniors, we know that they are socially isolated, but they're not lonely. So we've got these 3 different age groups that we really need to be focusing on as well, predominantly, if you like, but it does affect anyone and everyone. So
yeah, it is very interesting that the 45 to 50, you said, around that marker. It's is there, like you said, it affects everybody, but is there a difference between women and men, because the women are going through a bit of a transition at that time?
Is
there a difference in the data?
Genders, not necessarily genders based, but there are other things that would differentiate. So yes, I guess if we're talking, say, perimenopause, menopause, so people who are going through, you know, medical conditions or ailments, that would definitely increase their risk of it. Yeah, and then depending on, you know, where they're living, are they more, you know, remote or rural, those sort of things too. But yes, I think you're absolutely right. That middle-aged time is going to be a time as well.
Yeah, and I really feel for our youth as well, you know, because they are constantly in a social media, or constantly, even they might go out partying and everything, but they might not find the true connection.
Absolutely.
You know?
That's exactly spot on, because they feel that they're connected through the social media and you know, screens, things like that, but in actual fact they're becoming more and more disconnected. So, which is a very worrying sort of fact, you know. They don't even realize that is true loneliness, you know. So we really do need to address that. It's one of our big I guess priorities as well.
I hear in the radios that people are trying, or the government side and the bodies, they are trying to bring more, you know, different rules and regulations to, you know, make the difference, but we will see where we go on that. But yes, our elderlies, you know, I have this soft spot for my elderlies because, you know, growing up with the grandparents, you know, and they really pull my heartstring. But because you do are you still doing the programs for them?
Yes. We were there yesterday, Ange. So you're talking about our low acuity facility here on the Gold Coast, where we've got, it's mainly seniors that are waiting for placement in nursing homes and aged care. So we actually did host a morning tea for Loneliness Awareness Week, and we had about 40 turn up for that. So it was part of our facility as well as the village that they're within. And the smallest little acts can make such a big difference. So, you know, we just had morning tea for them. We had some sand art, had some nice 1950s music playing in the background. And then we had various staff members just sitting down and having conversations, you know, just listening to them, chatting, letting them speak, letting them know that, you know, that they are needed, they are wanted, they're respected, etc., and that they are part of this this village community, and there is that belonging as well. So it was a very rich morning.
Yeah, they have so much to share, right? The
Yes,
wisdom and the insights they have.
absolutely.
I wish we all could, see that and
Yes,
bring that in,
yes.
there we could put that all in there. So when we're doing any decisions and all those things, like, if we can bring them in and make them feel that they are still, needed in our community.
Definitely. Well, that's a big thing again for them, that transition period. Often,
Mm,
post-retirement, the family dynamics change. Maybe they've lost a spouse, there's medical conditions going on, potentially aged care requirements. So that often means that they lose that purpose, or they lose that feeling
mm,
that they are, a valued member of society. And so what is their place anymore? So being able
mm.
to bring them back and showing them, no, you are valued, you are respected, and
Yes.
you belong. I think
Mm.
that does wonders for them, but also for the other people around them. Like, it can have such a positive impact on the younger staff members that are working with them,
Yes.
with volunteers as well, because like you said, they've got such an amazing amount of wisdom from their whole entire life that they can often share as well. So it's a very therapeutic alliance. It's that
Oh,
whole
yes.
intergenerational therapy happening as well. But like I said, it ticks the box of trying to just reconnect and
Mm.
getting rid of those risk factors that are associated. Social isolation and loneliness, leads to so many other problems as well. So,
Yes.
yeah.
So if we see the elderly people, hanging about or watching somewhere or something, and if you go and say hello to them, and they're like cha 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 cha,
Yeah. Yes. Yes. Yeah.
yeah, it's
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. But look,
yeah.
and that is the theme, and for this year's Loneliness Awareness Week, it's make room for connection.
Mm-hmm.
And so that means that, even just little, like I think you said, micro connections,
Micro connection, yes.
the small little moments can really make a big difference. And it might just be waving to someone, saying good morning, maybe giving a compliment, a random act of kindness, doesn't have to be anything too extravagant, but that can make all the difference for a lot of people.
Oh, that reminded me of one of this example that a few weeks ago, I was just coming out of this shopping center,
Yeah.
and I turned around, and this lady, she turned around and she had the biggest smile on her face, and I
Yeah.
smiled back at her. And it was just like, one of this moment. And I said, thank you so much. That smile just made my day. I
Yeah.
just said it out loud, and she was shocked and said, "Oh, me too." And and that just put such a zing on my body in
Yeah.
like a whole top to bottom. I was like,
Yeah.
and that just changed it completely. It
Yeah.
felt like it
Yeah.
changed the whole composition of
Of
my
course.
everything.
Yeah. Um, so we know that if we look biochemically at what actually happens when we
Mm-hmm.
are connected to anybody,
Yes.
it's sort of, we talk about the PINE system in our body. I don't know if you're aware, but PINE, P-I-N-E, stands for
No.
psychological, the immune, the neurological, and the endocrine system. So
Mm-hmm.
when we are connected, all of those
Yes.
systems are activated positively. And so then
Mm.
that has, positive ramifications on our overall health and well-being. So, psychologically, it affects our dopamine, our serotonin,
Mm-hmm.
all those oxytocin levels. And then in terms of immunity, it helps with obviously the immune fighter cells, etc. Reduces the inflammatory markers, and therefore our immune system and our stress response is better. Neurologically, it can help with the sympathetic, parasympathetic, balance
Mm-hmm.
happening, blood
Yes.
pressure, heart rate, and then endocrine-wise, it's those stress chemicals, adrenaline, cortisol, and stuff as well.
Mm-hmm.
So there is real evidence of that cascading that happens in our body.
Mm-hmm.
As I said, just from simple connection with people.
Yes.
So yeah, that's how
Yeah.
it works.
So if we don't have time for this huge conversation,
Yep.
even the micro connections makes a
Yeah.
big difference. Right?
Absolutely, it all adds up. So don't underestimate the power of connection. It's really, really underestimated. So yeah.
Yeah. So we should be talking. We're supposed to going to talk about the questions, but yeah, why should we be talking about loneliness as a health issue? I
Yeah.
think that's really connects with what we were talking about earlier.
Absolutely. So just like I said, it's such, statistically, it's such a high rate, 1 in 2 Australians, it's 1 in 6 people globally. It's been addressed by the World Health Assembly in May this year as a priority. So it's a public health priority by the World Health Organization. As I said, even here, it's now been listed in our National Strategy Framework for Chronic Conditions by our Health Minister. Wow. So it is real, and I think more and more people are slowly coming to know about it. And I think the other reason is because it has such negative effects on our physical and mental health. Like I mentioned, the heart attack risk, stroke risk, premature death, dementia, depression, anxiety, you name it. There's so many, and the incidence, is anywhere between 30 to 50% higher, just by being isolated and lonely. So we've got real reason to make sure we're connected. But also we know that our health outcomes are much worse, about 35 to 55% worse, if we are not addressing our social determinants of health. So that includes isolation, loneliness. It's talking about, one's, I guess, housing and financial status and food, security and transportation, all the real things that we need to live, apart from that isolation, loneliness as well. So it's a must. It's a necessity that needs to be looked at.
It's crucial preventative care for our community and ourselves.
Yeah. And look, I must say that at the moment, that we are building that momentum within the general practice team, the primary care team. It still needs a lot more work to become that national standardized system, but it doesn't mean that we all can't do our little bit. Because it is a societal problem that all of us can really address, and we can all help each other to come out of this, in a positive way. So it's that collaboration.
Absolutely. Yes, 100%. Before, we don't have to wait for it to, come as okay, we are doing this,
No, exactly. There's so much we can do till then.
Yes, like we are doing, right? We are doing it.
Yes, exactly. Spread that awareness.
Yes, what signs might suggest someone is struggling with loneliness? Because sometimes people might see, they are so happy and they are so bubbly and they're all around people, but how can you tell that person might be feeling lonely inside because they're trying to fix everybody or, fix everything around them, but then inside they feel very, they don't feel as supported or... So what would be the signs and symptoms?
So I guess from a GP point of view, some red flags might be, say, the frequent attender. So say if a patient, is coming quite often, more frequently, and they might have slightly more trivial issues, or they can't really pinpoint exactly what's going on, so the history might be a bit vague or a bit scattered. That could be one giveaway. A lot of what we know is psychosomatization. So if there are overlaps with some mental health symptoms as well, potentially, if there's any indication of prolonged sadness or depression or anxiety or stress, that might mean that, okay, let's also directly question someone about their status in terms of isolation, loneliness. So we know that, if someone's got, as I said, mental health symptoms, or they've got physical chronic conditions, they're more likely to be isolated or lonely. So as a health professional, we should be alerted to that and go, okay, maybe this person, we do actually need to ask them about, well, are you actually isolated and are you lonely, in a discreet fashion? So we've got tools that we can use to ask them. So we call it the UCLA loneliness scale, as well as other ones as well. So, apart from just saying, well, how many people are you meeting a week, for instance, how face-to-face interaction. So really trying to quantify their social connections, what type of relationships they've got, the quantity, the quality, and the nature of that relationship. And then I guess you could ask them, do you feel lonely? So you could be as direct as that, or you could be indirect and use one of those UCLA scales as well. So that's
because sometimes people might not realize that they feel lonely. You know what I mean? Because they might not know, what it is like to be like. So if there is a practitioner's help, and I think that would be huge support in that.
Absolutely, absolutely. And like you said, it's a very subjective experience, subjective emotion, loneliness. Whereas the social isolation is a bit more objective. We can literally say, okay, we can tell that you're isolated because you're only meeting this many people per week. So it might be very useful to have that questionnaire if you're suspicious that someone is lonely, or we just can't get it out of them properly. Do you know what I mean?
Yes,
We're just unsure, but we've got a question mark happening.
Yeah,
So
because some people are very reserved to open
yes,
up, right?
yes,
Or
absolutely.
sometimes people want to show that they are so tough,
Yes,
but
yes.
then they,
Yeah. And you do have to individualize the way that you'd be questioning and make sure that it's appropriate, you know, culturally and age appropriate, all those sort of things, and just work around it to try to get the answers that you're looking for. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not one size fits all.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Yes, exactly. And I wanted to ask, as a GP's perspective, you said that, you know, but as a friend and as a mother, and, you know, how do you check on your friends, or how do you make sure that your friends or yourself that you are checking on yourself?
Yeah. I think, look, it is a very important thing that we, firstly, as individuals, are able to self-reflect and be self-critical and, you know, analyze ourselves as well. So doing like a check-in regularly with yourself and just knowing, okay, how am I feeling? You know, have I actually spent some time with my friends or my family or my colleagues? Because again, it's now been noted in this recent study that I just spoke to you about, that just spending time, even if you've got one good friend, it improves your risk of isolation loneliness 90%.
Wow.
That's how much improvement, you know, or spending 1 to 3 hours a week, 90% improvement, or just remaining in contact with your friends and family, 90% improvement, and attending community events, also 90% improvement. So, you know, I think just doing little check-ins like that with yourself, so saying, ticking off that box for your own self-care, have I actually met my weekly requirements in a way, not so robotically, but just again, just within your life, and you know, life is hard, you know, juggling so many different, you know, balls, I guess. And then checking in with your family, checking in with your close friends, maybe checking in with your neighbors, etc. So making that part of your mindset, if you like, and making that part of your lifestyle as well. I think if we all start doing that, the world would be a better place.
Oh, absolutely. So, because as a business owner, that I've realized more and more that when you share your wins, and even small wins, it is you know, lots of things that you have to go through to make the event successful, or all the things that you're learning as you go with the, you know. But when you share those little wins, and they are, you know, like so excited for you and all those things, and it's like, oh my God, I'm not alone in this journey. So that is my experience, my own experience, and when I'm sharing with them, it just boost up, you know, so much energy and excitement. So you know, share it with your friends.
Absolutely. And you've just given a true demonstration of that pine system that I spoke about, because you're just releasing all those happy chemicals, the endorphins and everything, just by sharing, you know. And as I said, too many of us have become more self-centered and you know, we're not thinking about the bigger picture or the community around us. So I think we need to change that, go back a little bit, and remember that we will do better ourselves when we are better connected as well.
Yes. And I think lots of times people feel like they're like solo in their journey. And then they don't know, they're just doing and doing and doing. But you know, having that, even if you are like one person run business, just having that accountability, close friends, you know, who are really happy to share your journey with, and all those people. And so I have amazing, beautiful girls that I share those things with, and then sometimes we are having a hard times, but or sometimes we are having a little wins, and we share all of those things. And when we are having hard times, you know, we all come up with the ideas. Maybe we should do this, or you should do this, or you should do that, to solve the issue. Or, you know, and what was the other one? and with the happiness, good news, right? It
Yes.
doesn't have to be extravaganza,
Yeah.
but good news. But then,
Yeah.
it's just, getting called out in a radio station. I was like, wow, so exciting. Right?
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah.
And that's what life's about, right? We're humans, we're social beings. We do need to share experiences and share emotions. And there's a real transference, we know, even medically speaking, of that positivity. So if you're positive, you're experiencing something that's so amazing and so happy and so exciting, you could potentially pass that amazing emotion to those friends around you, So you're doing good deeds all around, and you're just creating a better place. So
we
keep on doing that.
Yes, we all should share our excitement, as well as they're having a hard time, and we share it, and so we might get bouncing the ideas, and then so we might find a solution for it.
Yeah, definitely. And I think it's very therapeutic.
Yes, Kylie is saying, Katie feeling fitness. Thank you both for your time and sharing your wisdom and leading the way for heart-to-heart connections, helping make the world a better, more loving space. Thank you, Kylie.
Thank you.
Yes, and Kylie is one of our member. And when she comes to our coffee catch-ups, and when there's someone new, I will put the next to our members, and they just make the new people feel like home.
Good, beautiful. So you're making room for connection. That's what you're doing right there. That's what we're talking about.
I think it is so important, and it just naturally creating that space of the connection. It is so beautiful, and I cannot thank you enough to our community how much it means for me to bring all those new people, and I don't even have to. I just want to make people feel like home.
Yeah, and you're doing an amazing job, Ange. You've grown so much. You've actually made a home for so many people. So hats off to you, and keep on shining your light as well. You're doing a fantastic job.
But do you know what? That makes me feel like home. The more people go, it's filling my cup. And sometimes I'm like, have I been a bit selfish? No. Because it makes me feel so excited.
Definitely.
When people feels like, I don't know how much I learned, but I really felt comfortable. I really feel good, and then it's like, Kylie is saying, second that.
So true. But again, that's almost like that dual sort of, I guess, relationship when we're talking about, that volunteerism that we were talking about, that selfless service, almost when you are giving back to the community and the community is giving back to you, both the winners in that. Do you know what I mean? So I think even if we can bring that sort of back into society in a bigger way, because that's declined after COVID too, but that can be so therapeutic for everybody, the giver and the receiver, like you're expressing now as well.
So we all should keep doing that, and increase the amount and number. So when should someone seek help on this loneliness or the social isolation?
Look, I think again it's going to be a really individual a point, because everyone's thresholds are so different. So that's number one. So I think firstly recognizing what is your threshold, what is your requirement. So for me, I might need 10 people to make me feel less lonely. For you, you might only need one person. So I think it's important to keep it that, firstly, that what matters to you as an individual, but then recognizing and being self-aware and knowing, well, if things are not feeling right, my sleep's affected, my mood's affected, my energy's affected, I'm not able to concentrate on school or work, etc. Well, what else is going on? Don't hesitate to reach out. And, as I said, and you've mentioned too, there's so many different ports of call where you can actually go from GPs to, the other allied health professionals, practitioners, reach out to friends and families. But then there's so many organizations here, and every, I guess, geographical area, like we know here on the Gold Coast, our council has got so many activities that are available through Active
Incredible.
And Healthy. It's
free. Most of them are free or very low cost, right? Really low cost.
Absolutely.
And that's why I really appreciate what Active and Healthy brings.
Yeah, yeah.
I
And a lot of
think,
people don't know about it, Ange. So I
oh,
think,
yes.
yeah, you know, I think even as GPs and our colleagues in the primary health network, we also need to be telling more patients about it. So
Yes.
if the community at large knows about these different organisations that are doing
Mm.
such an amazing job at keeping people connected,
Mm-hmm.
and as I said, Active and Healthy is just one. You know, you've got the
Yes.
Heart Foundation's walking groups. There's a lot of other, you know, groups now that are like the Men's Shed, etc.
Oh, yes.
That are running, you know, community connection sort of activities. So it doesn't have to necessarily be to the GP. Depends on, as I said, what the severity is. So if it's affecting mental health, causing other symptoms, obviously definitely go to the GP. If it's just, you know, I'm just feeling a little bit bored, a bit lonely, you could always just do like a quick search on the websites and have a look at what's nearby to you. Park Run, you know, the ones that we've mentioned. There's so many things that are available
Yes.
now. But reaching out to friend, family as well, colleagues, you know, anyone can signpost these activities as well to one another. If you feel that someone needs that extra bit of support, it can be all of our responsibility to help out there as well.
Oh, yes. It's not only because we are women community, not only for women, because it can impact everybody,
Yes,
And
absolutely.
yeah, so in that context, I saw this poster saying a yoga class, free yoga class
Yep.
and it says on the title, men are pause. It's for men. Men are pause. You know, men needs a pause too. And it was like incredible. And
Yes.
because if our husband, brothers, and, you know, sons, if they have those kind of community that
Yes.
they can go to and do, and, you
Yep.
know, it's, you know, like you said, a ripple effect, you know, like
Yes.
if one person is in a high, you know, vibration, and
Yes.
then another was, oh, actually it tags along to
Yes.
everybody, right?
Yes.
So
Yes.
it's,
Yeah.
so
Absolutely.
yeah,
And I'm
it's
glad you
great in
mentioned.
words.
I'm glad you mentioned, and sorry, about men. So often, you know, as women, just the inherent nature, you know, we're more likely to talk and have a chat or pick up the phone, you know,
Or
catch up with a
cry,
friend
we
or cry,
cry.
yeah, be a bit more expressive. And
Yes.
men are not inherently like that. So it's really, really important to spread that information to our dads, our brothers, our partners, our sons, our mates, whoever, the men in our lives, because I think it is important that they are aware of this big problem,
Yes.
because it can really affect them in a bigger way. You know, we know that as they get older, they often have a higher rate of mental health issues and suicide as well. So it's important we support them too and tell them about this, that there are
Yes.
places like Men's Shed and Men's Table, Park Run, etc. And GPs often have a directory of these assets and organisations in the community that
Yes.
could be very useful for them too.
Yes. No, you know, I cannot thank you enough to the community organizations who run
Yeah.
this low cost or the, you know, free activities. So when those events comes on my page in Instagram, I always make sure they repost and, you know, do what I can do at that
Yeah.
instance. So, you
Amazing.
know, if we all can do that, you
Yeah.
know, it is going to be, yeah, it will be, you know, the effect is going to grow, and then, you know,
Multiply.
more and more people will be happier and healthier.
Yes, and that's the aim. That's what we want to
Yes.
achieve. We want to see that trend in everything just stop, you know, and come back down again. So we can only do it all together. As I said, I think social prescribing, big thing is it has to be a collaborative approach. It
Yes,
can't just be
community.
absolute community, the health sector, sports sector, educational sector, all different sectors need to come together because it is a very, very big societal issue. And I think the more people that get involved and get behind this, that, you know, otherwise we're going to see things just escalating and it's not going to be good. So,
Yes, and
yeah.
I think as the way I don't want to pinpoint or point a
Yeah.
finger at AI. It
Yes.
is doing amazing things. It's giving
Yes.
us the tools and, you know,
Yes.
to build our businesses and the connection and
Yeah.
everything. But
Yeah.
at the same time, if we're using in a different way that isolates us
Of
as
course.
well. So
Of course. Yeah.
yes, and I think that's why these community events and things like that
Yep.
has become such an important part, right?
Absolutely. And I think spot on again, what you just said, the more that we've got, AI and digital tools, I think having that regular check-in with ourselves is really important. To say, okay, if I've been working at home all week, or I've just been using AI, or I've been on the digital tools, how much have I actually done for myself in terms of social connection? With my family, with my friends, with my community, school, work, neighborhood, etc. So you do need to just check in with that more and more, I think, as time evolves as well.
Yes, because my work is in social media.
Yes.
And I have to literally make up my mind, okay, Ange, why are you entering to Instagram right now?
Yes.
So I have to say, I'm going to do live with Kuljit.
Yes.
Or I am doing the shout out to my members.
Yep.
So I have to, otherwise, without knowing, I'm scrolling,
No.
and before you know it, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, half an hour is gone.
Yes.
Right? And so I have to make up my mind and have that boundaries.
Yes, definitely. Discipline,
to make
boundaries.
myself work. Yes, yes.
I think we all need to do that. Yes.
Yes. All right, Kuljit, we could keep talking.
We could.
Because you are so passionate about it, and we truly appreciate that you are bringing such an amazing and important aspect in our towards the preventative health, and we cannot thank you enough. And you are one of our member as well. We are so proud to say that. And so thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Yes, and let's shine light on Loneliness Awareness Week. And yes, and would you like to say anything before we close the conversation? Where can people find you, or there's an event coming?
Yes, there is actually.
Right?
So,
okay, tell us about that.
Yeah, so that's on Sunday night. So at the Mercure, 6 till 9 p.m. So it is actually it's a networking event for health professionals. So we started off general practice teams, other health professionals can come along as well. But they do need to register. I shared that link with you. So if anyone wants to inquire with you, they can, and just register as soon as possible. There'll be some inspirational speakers. There will be a lot of immersive activities that are basically showing an example of what social prescription can be like and how therapeutic it can be too. So come along if you'd like to meet us all. Yeah.
Yes, and we can find you. Have you put that in LinkedIn as well?
Yeah, I'll have to double check if it's on there. I think I did put it on there, but yeah, so LinkedIn.
Yes. But you are active in LinkedIn as well, right?
Yes, yeah, definitely. LinkedIn is probably my most professional sort of sharing information. But yes, and I will be starting a bit more formally at a practice in Southport in September as well. But I'll share the details with everyone soon as well.
Yes, awesome. Yes, we will share it once you confirm everything else. And thank you so much, everyone, for being here and listening to our Loneliness Awareness Week talk with amazing Kuljit, and we will see you in next live. Thank you so much, Kuljit. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Bye.
Bye. Take care.
Bye for now.
Stay connected.
Bye.
Bye.
You too. Bye.